I don't know if I'm never not afraid of something. Maybe you're like me. It's like fear is an ever present reality in your life. It's like a background noise that just plays at different volumes and intensities at different seasons and different days. Sometimes it recedes to a background hum. Other days it's a focus shattering shriek, like the shriek of my 1-year-old daughter. But is fear wrong? We know that fear is unpleasant. We know that fear is really exhausting, but is fear wrong? I mean, if we think about it, fear is actually really quite useful. It's fear that keeps us from speeding too far beyond the speeding limit. I think what matters isn't so much that we stop fearing, it's that we fear rightly. We fear the right things. Sort of like love. We talk a lot about having our loves properly ordered, loving the right things. I think similarly, we need to fear the right things. One of my favorite pictures of this comes from Mark chapter 4. This is when Jesus, with his disciples, relatively early in his ministry, calms the storm. Mark 4, beginning in verse 35. On that day, when evening had come, he said to them, "Let us go across to the other side." Leaving the boat, they took him with them in the boat, just as he was, and other boats were with him, and a great windstorm arose, and the waves were breaking into the boat, so that the boat was already filling. But he was in the stern, asleep on the cushion. And they woke and said to him, "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" And he awoke and rebuked the wind and the sea, and said, "Peace, be still." And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And he said to them, "Why are you so afraid? Have you still no faith?" And they were filled with great fear, and said to one another, "Who then is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him?" Now it's interesting to me that 3 times the word great is used in this passage. We're told that a great storm arises, which is what prompts the disciples to go to Jesus in fear. We're told that Jesus wakes up, calms the storm, and there's a great calm. And then we're told that the disciples, after seeing what Jesus has done, are filled with great fear. And I think we're intended to see the disciples as exemplary in this, that we ought to fear, that Jesus does indeed elicit fear. Their fear transfers from the storm to Jesus. So I think for us, we must learn to fear the right thing, ultimately, Jesus. Matthew 10, Jesus says, "Don't fear what can kill the body. Fear what can kill the body and the soul." Let us fear rightly. Let us fear Jesus. Now, maybe you hear that and you say, "That sounds intimidating. I'm supposed to let my fear of Jesus drown out all my other fears." So, what does that mean for my fears of death and my fears of being hurt and my fears of losing loved ones, of going unloved, of becoming sick, or the rest of the background noise of fear that I carry around with me? What am I to do with that? Well, I think we're to see how Peter describes the character of Jesus, the one we are to fear, in 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7, when he says, "Cast all your anxieties on him because he cares for you." Dane Ortland said that when you come to Christ for mercy and love and help in your anguish and perplexity and sinfulness, you are going with the flow of his own deepest wishes, not against them. So see Jesus. See him as big and strong and greater than the greatest storm, capable of creating the greatest calm, demanding great fear. And may we cast all of our anxieties and lesser fears on him, because he would delight in nothing more than to show himself greater than those anxieties. Grace and peace to you, church. Hope this is encouraging.